Do you hear? It's amplifying the electricity. That's the radio on my automatic door opener. So it's amplifying all activity. So our vitals and all of our biological information is amplified when you're hit with the cell tower stream. And then they're able to read it more easily, and that's where you get the remote neural monitoring. That's where this Frey effect phenomenon is occurring. So you see, just over here, well, my truck is picking up that electromagnetic activity. But you see, we're stuck in traffic here, and the intelligence community and Space Force are just absolutely assaulting people in the back and side of the head while we were driving. And this is V2K/microwave auditory effect being retransmitted through the communications infrastructure. And when I was close to that cell tower, I had problems forming a sentence. So what I was trying to say is, when you're locked onto with a beam like this, the electromagnetics of everything you interact with are amplified, so they can then read exactly what you're doing. Like when I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, because I'm a 90s kid, on a Nintendo DS still, sometimes. When they are doing, or when I'm doing that, they can tell exactly what's happening on my Game Boy, although it's not linked into the Internet of Things through the same phenomenon where it's a transceiver system, so it's a two-way beam communication of radio frequency that's locked onto a person. That's how they do remote neural monitoring. That's how they do a constant like remote neural monitoring V2K stream that's like harassing you on every single thing you do and see. This afternoon, when I was making a pot of coffee in my kitchen, there was a person that was visible outside only from exactly where I was standing in the room, from a small window. And the people that were harassing me and stalking me at that point in time essentially prompted me to look up to see it. There's a car outside. And it would have been something only I could see. So how do you get a system that exact to the point where you can tell somebody to look up or make someone look up without them noticing that you did it, and then see something that only is for them? Well, that's because of the same thing that Targeted Justice just emailed today, which is that this system is constantly tracking you, and then there's numerous different government elements that aid this system without really being read into the entirety of it. And just about every single person would say, hey, you know what? Fuck that. That doesn't sound like it's a good thing. That doesn't sound fair. Doesn't sound like something I want. Doesn't sound like something I want to be a part of. And the funniest part is these fucking derps that are actively involved in this lie to themselves regularly while knowing that they're liability placeholders while they're at dinner for schmucks, and then they get hit with this shit also. They randomly have communication happen to them in their life. They don't have business hours. You don't get regular fucking 9 to 5 business hours when you work a program like this. They'll fucking talk to your dumbass anytime the fuck they want, wage any psyop on you the fuck they want, do anything the fuck they want. And here's a big cell tower right here. Just listen to this. So you're lying to yourself if you're a member of Space Force or FBI or CIA, and you think that you've never been hit with this stream. You are 100% lying to yourself. And sorry to be the bearer of bad news if I'm the first one to rain on that parade for you, but it's just a fact that nobody would trust anybody with a system like this or access to a system like this and not surveil every millisecond of that life. Okay? So you think that you're a favorite? No, you're not a favorite. If anything, they like me more than they like you. And I'll go get my money ethically and not have clinger demons attached to it, to the blood money, okay? Thanks, I'm good. So you hear that pulsing, that's in nervous system response range, and that's being shot right at my head here. So we're in megahertz range, or no, kilohertz range actually, and In megahertz range, it's kind of quiet right now, but this is kilohertz range activity. And it's coming in from the cell towers, as well as from aerial means. So that is hertz sound. The very next thing up is kilohertz. So that would be ultrasound, the activity that Havana Marlena is seeing, a lot of the activity I've recorded on my software-defined radio. So listen to that pulsing, okay? I'm not dialing anything. I'm not changing anything. That's just pulsing in at that rate. And if you see it right over my head, it's significantly stronger. So what that is that's transcranial stimulation, and there's proof of it, that just sitting over here, my radio is almost receiving zero interference. And now overhead, we're receiving a ton of interference. So check this out again. So right at head level, around head level, we're picking up a lot of interference, right? Especially right back here. And then now if I set this down, we're essentially not hearing anything. So that shows beyond a reasonable doubt that there is indeed a stream of radio frequency that is hitting my body. And keep in mind, my phone is in airplane mode, and I've got a thick case on it. So I'm not accidentally picking up the electromagnetic activity of my phone, and then it's riding on my skin. Not in this case, no. So this is truly what's just being shot at me while I am in bumper-to-bumper traffic, okay? So that's proof of how this system runs, how the intelligence community and the government likes to use the system, is they like to blast somebody in the head, do transcranial stimulation, essentially a discrete long-distance MK Ultra on people when they're trapped in traffic. I couldn't get off the freeway if I wanted to. If I said, hey, this is enough transcranial stimulation, I'm tired of driving by cell towers and having them ring up a storm like this. Here's a cell tower on my right-hand side. That's pain, okay? That's immediate headache. That's immediate distress. So I can't get off this freeway if I wanted to. We're in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And the military and intelligence community are attacking United States citizens when we are trapped in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And you see that cell tower right there, right in front of the wheel. Okay? So everything I say is accurate and factual. So right in front of head level, you hear that. And that is because of that weaponized cell tower that is transmitting nervous system response range, okay? If that cell tower was only in the hundreds of megahertz into gigahertz range, guess what, guys? We wouldn't be hearing it right now. You know why? Because we are currently in MW wave, in kilohertz, at 525 kHz, kilohertz, okay? So that's significantly lower. The reason why that's a giant issue is because when you get into low frequencies like that, it does something called triggered nervous system response. So that means it causes internal biological effects in human beings. And how is it that Canada is way behind the United States as far as how big the country is, the technology that they have, the research programs and projects that they've done, the funding that they have, but Canada has the ability to say, hey, at this range of radio frequencies, it's dangerous. You need to pay close and special attention to that range of radio frequency. That is what? It is hertz all the way up into megahertz range, and then specific gigahertz ranges also. Why? Because it causes nervous system response, and there are resonance phenomenons that occur with sound and with radio frequency. So why is it that a smaller, less wealthy government can make such a better health and safety guidelines that's so easy to understand, that gives a set beginning and end and why it's dangerous? So I feel like our country is going backwards in transparency, backwards in honesty, backwards in science, because what they want to do is do this deception bullshit game where they make people sick all the time, or they target 20,000 people and make them sick with radiation poisoning every single day.